So yes, I just want to give a quick preview of a project that we're going to be rolling out here at Hillsborough. The overarching project is called STAMP, which is Strategic Antimicrobial Use in Dairy, Beef and Lamb Production. So the overarching objectives are to be able to develop a veterinary medicine recording system that we can benchmark both at farm level, so we can trace those medicines to farm level, but then also to individual animal level as well. So we want to reduce the use of antibiotic on farm. That's sort of one layer, but then the other layer is then to actually reduce the incidence of ill health and therefore the need for those animals to be having antibiotics. So we've identified that the calf rearing phase is an area of high risk for antibiotic use. And this isn't just a Northern Ireland thing, it's worldwide. The Netherlands have been benchmarking antibiotic use for nearly 20 years. And although they have seen a 60% reduction in antibiotic use in industry as a whole, the young stock farms, the calf sector are still mostly above the signalling value, which is where you need to take action, you legally need to take action in the Netherlands. Similarly, in Northern Ireland, a survey that was carried out a couple of years ago through AFBI, we found that over 50% of calves were treated for ill health by the time they were 4 months old. Those calves then had lower growth rates and were less likely to meet their target of calving down at 24 months. And this is a message that has been going on all day, is that there's two things which are important whenever we're looking at risk of the calves becoming ill, and that is the environment that they're in and the management. So our objective then with this project is to create a risk assessment where we can go on farm, there's weighted scores on various aspects of management and environment, and then that there would be tailored management information that would help that individual farm reduce their risk score. And when I'm talking about a risk score, that's the risk of that calf becoming ill and therefore needing to use antibiotics. This will also provide a good basis for discussion with your vet and ongoing measurable improvement. So the aim is that we'll have healthy animals that will not need antibiotics. So what we did was we conducted a literature review to establish the high-risk areas and to look at the best practices in terms of calf rearing. We built our survey on the successful template of Animal Health Ireland, which used a risk assessment approach, and 90% of the vets and farmers then that were using it had good feedback saying that this was a good way forward. So we are hoping to build a user-friendly survey. It will be able to provide instant results on farm in the calf house. And we're currently in the middle of piloting a trial with our veterinary partners within the STAMP project before we then roll out on a larger scale as a management tool. So there's 8 sections within the risk assessment. Calving pens, colostrum management, nutrition, calf housing, sick pens, attitudes, biosecurity, and also automatic milk feeders. And each of these sections is scored separately. So you get excellent, good or poor score for each section individually, and then a score overall. So you'll be able to highlight the areas that need improvement. So this is just a quick example of how it looks. So you have your questions and your answers, and behind each of these answers then there's a weighting. So the higher the weighting, then the higher the risk that the calf is going to experience ill health. So moving forward, yes, we're currently going to pilot this with our veterinary practices. So if any of you use Jubilee or Lisburn Vets or Parklands, they're going to be looking for farmers that are willing to conduct this on their own farm, just to give us some feedback on how we can make improvements, how we can make sure that it is user-friendly and it is hitting the areas that we need to do. So yes, we hope to do it this year and then also reassess next year and measure if there's been any improvement. So has this worked? Is our farmers taking it on board? Is it something that is actually going to be useful and will make improvements on farm? So that was just to whet your interest, and thank you very much. And also thank you to our partners within the larger STAMP project. If you've any questions.